After you have been dependent, then you need to go independent. Okay? You need to go independent. And by going independent, it means that you are finding, yes, signals are being put, but you're finding signals slowly by yourself. After being independent, then you go interdependency. You now understand that you have the knowledge and you can combine energy, you combine synergism. Okay, you build synergy with other people to create interdependency because all of us cannot be able to win alone. So you depend on someone, then you become independent, then you start going interdependency. Sometimes I wonder where the knowledge comes from, but then I remember that I was created in God's full image. God's full image. And if you want to see God in your life, you look at me. Yeah, if you were wondering, yeah, one of his greatest representative on earth. I'm one of his greatest representative on earth. That it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter who cared for you, it doesn't matter whether you went to school or not, location, whether village or age, sex, gender. As long as he created you in his own image, you can live a life you want. Okay, guys. All right. So let's get into our lesson. So today we want to look at pivot points, but I'm going to provide a different perspective when it comes to these pivot points so that I create clarity. Okay. But I'm going to keep the lesson very short and simple. Okay. So let's share a screen. Okay. So this is Binance. It's an exchange and it's just a platform where we can analyze cryptocurrencies and we can also have a picture of about what is happening in the market. I think this is one of the areas I open most in my life. Whenever I touch my off phone, I open and I'm able to get information about crypto, what other people think about crypto. Someone says, I made $7,000 by learning these candle chart patterns. Here is how you can also make by learning candle chart patterns. So I can learn. Knowledge is here. Okay, knowledge is here. But don't believe everything. Okay, so you can always read through because this is information. But you see, uh, although I have not read this guy's information, you discover one thing I talk about always. As you grow your account from 50, aim at compounding. You see, give me a two in the chat if you can see this. He might talk about so many things, but you see, they have picked one, compound your profits. And I think it's one I have talked about. So that is his thinking. Okay. Now I leave his thinking. Maybe check it later. Or I can just follow him and see what he posts, which is okay. Let's now go to either hot coins. I believe Solana is going to do well. I don't know how many times I have talked about Solana, but Solana is going to do well. Mm, I've seen something. Just allow me check it. I'm not supposed to, but Ash Crypto is saying something. BlackRock bought 600 millions worth of Bitcoins. Trump to announce Bitcoin strategy reserve today. Ah. Things have been happening. Trump to do what? Let me share. Okay. We can always open up these coins. And when you open up a coin, for example, this one, I'll remove all this and focus on pivot points, then elaborate them later. Now, if pivot points were not around and I wanted to trade this coin, I would pick my horizontal line here, look at the current price and look at the lowest price, which could be this, but may I use the border close, so I would draw my support line there. Okay. Then I also draw my resistance line here. Resistance 1. Then I'll draw, me personally, resistance 2 here. Now what is going to happen that when I apply pivot points, they are going to look at those points and draw lines where those points are. For me, on my behalf, give me a 2 in the chat if my point is clear. Meaning that instead of me drawing these lines are going to be drawn for me. That's what I'm trying to express. So I would do the technical analysis myself and I would draw these lines. But now these lines are going to be drawn for me in simple terms, where the market is expected to be supported and where the market is expected to be resisted. Now, in simple understanding, resistance and support is like you walking in a house. The floor is the support and the resistance is the ceiling. So the market will always form the resistance. Like that. Now, these here, I can study this for one day. Opening price, closing to the highest, the lowest price, and the closing price. So the highest price of today, the lowest price of today, and the closing price of today, they will be added together. Someone is saying I'm breaking. Am I loud and clear? I don't have too much energy. I'm exhausted. So I may not be able to speak a lot. But if I'm loud and clear, let me know. I may not be able to speak a lot. Okay? I may not be able to speak a lot, but let me know if I'm clear. Someone's saying. Let me switch off my video so that I don't affect the. Am I better now? Am I better? Okay. So now they will add the lowest, the highest, and the close divide by 3 to get the center, which is P. So pivot, the pivot point is like when you put a seesaw and you put something here, it is usually the center. Now when prices can move from support to pivot. And when they fail to break the pivot, then the coin is still on a downward what? A downward trend. When the prices break the pivot and they go above the pivot, then we say from the pivot to the resistance. From the resistance to from resistance 1 to resistance 2. From resistance 2 to resistance 3. Once prices reach resistance 3, the coin has been overbought. Even when prices are coming down, once they reach support 3, then the coin has been oversold. Give me a 1 in the chat if that is clear, because it makes life very easy for you. Now, when you are doing your analysis, pivot points will always work best on coins that have high momentum. When a coin is pumping and it has high momentum, the pivot points will work very best for you. For example, let me pick 1,000 sats. Now look here. The pivot points will always work best for you when a coin has high momentum, when there is high volume moving in, buyers, sellers. For example, look at this coin. You get in support 1, it gets support 2. It goes above support 2, pivot, resistance. From resistance to resistance 2. So it will be very easy for you to make money because these lines act as support and resistance. Supported, resisted, supported, resisted. Give me a 2 in the chat if that is clear. Now, you are going to enjoy a lot of money when you learn how to use the pivot points. Either when you are using an exchange to analyze the market for yourself, or even using Royalq where I'm going to go. Am I making sense? That when a coin is on an uptrend, it will be very easy for you to enter here and get out here. Enter here, get out here, enter here, get out, enter here, get out. Once it reaches resistance 3, you say, I'm done. Next, you find another coin. I don't know if what I'm trying to talk about is bringing sense to you. I opened this coin. It is doing well. And I entered support. Look at these moves. Very good moves. When I entered support, I can get out at pivot. When it breaks pivot, I get out at resistance 1. When it breaks resistance 1, I get out at resistance 2. When it breaks resistance 2, I take profit at resistance 3. Once there, I'm done. Am I clear? Understanding is not a must. Understanding is not a must. Sometimes some people will understand today. Some need to go back and watch the video. Because there is no. Is there anything that I'm talking about here complicating? So what do you want me to repeat? Sometimes I'm stubborn. I don't want to repeat something that is easy. What am I repeating? Sometimes I go stubborn. So you use these lines as areas of support and what? And resistance. Because when it breaks here, then my next stop point here. My next stop point here. My next stop point here. So once the coin hits resistance 3, the coin has been oversold. Sorry, oversold, overbought. Once it hits resistance 3 here, then the coin has been oversold. Now, having provided this picture, these lines that are here are the same lines that you can access in Royalq, but this side they are not drawn. Okay? Okay. You get the same lines that are the other side on Binance are the same lines here in what? In Royalq, but the lines are not drawn for you. What they have done, they have put prices on those lines. Now, what we are trying to open is that the pivot points, when we come down here, you make sure, number one, it is 4 hours here. Then you come here on technical, you change this to 4 hours. You change this to 4 hours. Then you come on pivot point. Now, the same lines that would appear in the exchange are now just given as prices here. Give me a 2 in the chat if I'm clear. The same lines that would be drawn for you in the exchange are the same lines drawn for you here, but for them with prices. They are telling you support 3 is at this price. Support 2 is at this price. Support 1 at this price. Pivot at this price. Resistance at this price. Resistance 2 at this price. Resistance 3 at this price. Am I clear? Give me a 1 if I'm clear. Give me a 1 if I'm clear. So instead of you drawing these lines, they have drawn the lines for you. Okay? Now it's up to you to decide either you use the classic method of calculating the pivot points, or use the Fibonacci. These are just Fibonacci numbers. Okay? So it's up to you. Whether Fibonacci or classic, they usually have the same pivot point. The difference is this one is using Fibonacci numbers and this one is using classic. This is just a method of calculating those lines, which me I will not dig deep into. So you have a choice. In any time frame you want, whether 1 hour, you'll find support and resistance lines. Whether you want to check the coin in 15 minutes, you'll get areas of support and resistance. So it gets back to you which time frame you want to use to look at the pivot points. Numbers will be different because of the time frame being different. Drop me a 2 in the chat if that is also clear. Now we want to go to how we use them. Then I close the Zoom. I want to go to how you use them, then I close the Zoom. So it's up to you. Remember, when you want to look at a take profit, any coin you want to trade in 15 minutes, I would advise you to take 1.2, 1.3, 1.5. If you increase your time frame to 1 hour, still 1.5 to 3%. You go 4 hours, 1.5 to 3%. You go to 1 day, 5 to 10%. Is that clear? But now, you don't need percentages because there are figures on those numbers. You don't need it to say 2%, 3%, 6%. No. Moderated. Okay. So you want to, then the lines have been drawn for you. For example, this coin. Number one, note the current price. The current price is here for you 0.0737. That's the first thing you need to note on any coin. Note the current price of the coin. Number two, scroll down to the pivot point. Make sure that the time frame that is here is also the time frame that is here. Now scroll down to the pivot point. Since now you know the current price, and the current price is 0.73. 0.73. So the current price is 0.073, something like that. The pivot point is at 0.06023. Now the question is the coin below the pivot or it's above the pivot? Is the coin below the pivot or it's above the pivot? Because as long as these things get logic, you will be able to make the money. Now, it means that if the coin is above the pivot, now it's above the pivot. It's above the pivot. Number one. Number two, it is 0.0734. Has it reached the resistance in classic? Has it reached the resistance in classic? Has it reached resistance in classic? No. Now, question number two. Has it reached resistance in Fibonacci? Has it reached resistance on Fibonacci? Has it reached resistance on Fibonacci? So on Fibonacci, it's above the resistance, but on classic, it's not above the resistance. So I'll take this figure here, meaning if this is the current price, it is either approaching resistance or planning to break below. Now, even if we go back to technical analysis, the other side, when you pick a coin, when it is heading your resistance, do you control how far the coin can go and how deep the coin can go? I want logic. Do you control how far a coin can go and how deep the coin can go? Now, you don't need to worry. Let margin calls take care of this. Give me a yes if my answer is clear. Because I want to keep this brief and simple. Let margin calls take care of that because you do not control it. I don't know if that makes sense. Let margin calls take charge of this because you do not control. What you are sure of is that the coin is above the pivot and it has not yet reached resistance. But when you look at here, it's above resistance 1 on the Fibonacci, heading to resistance 2 here. Is that clear? Now, having seen that, remember, friends, we are not using this as a one stand indicator. We have looked at other indicators like the MACD, and we said that when the MACD is forming long bars like this, then they start reducing. What do we expect? We have looked at in the past and said when the MACD, the red ones, the bars start small volume, more sellers, more sellers, more sellers. They start reducing, they start reducing, they start reducing. What do we expect? What do we expect? So we expect that when we talked about the MACD, we said that once it moves like this and the bar starts reducing, then we expect that the MACD is planning to form a cross. It's planning, the market is planning to go up. So meaning that we have higher chances that when the MACD crosses here, we expect the coin now to move up that was moving down. Now we understand that we are going to make our take profit either at this point or at this point. Give me a 2 in the chat if that is clear. Give me a 2 in the chat if that is clear. Good. Now look here. We also said that you may not use the MACD alone. You may use other indicators like the RSI. And in our previous classes, we said that when the RSI crosses like this, what do we expect? In our previous classes, we said that when the RSI crosses like that, what do we expect? Because we don't want to use our pivot points as standalone indicators. Now, we on a percentage of 1 to 10, where do we expect this coin to go? Do we expect it to come down? Do we expect it to go up? Do we expect the coin to come down? Do we expect the coin to go up on 1 to 10? Now, having had all those factors on our side, is it okay to enter at current price and get out at this price as our take profit? Having looked at those factors, is it okay to enter at current price and press this as our take profit? Is that hard? Let me know. Is that hard? Now, why are you not making money? Now, look here. Someone asked me, Julius, how can I use $100 and make $50 a day? When I have all those factors on my side, do you see that if I was going to expose $50, I can increase and expose 80? I know this might not be colliding with your teaching, but may I teach common sense? I'm not colliding with any lesson, but I'm teaching common sense. Do you see how instead of me using $10, I can expose $80 in this coin? I don't know if I'm creating sense. Let me know. Give me a yes in the chat if you are understanding. I increase my risk because I have more chances of the market going in my favor than to go against me. May I teach common sense? Versa V, let me find the coin. Like this one. Let me see this one. Let's look at this coin. Let me apply the MACD. KDJ. Now you'll find that the RSI here, maybe it's already high, but let me just take the pivot points. Let me put it in 4-hour time frame. And this is the coin. When the coin moves from 0, because I want to remind you, from 0 it goes to 100. It makes a retracement at this point. Then it hits. Then it makes a retracement. I want you to see something. If it's not clear, then you need to go through this training so many times. Understanding the first time is not a must. But when you keep on attending many calls, you later understand. Give me one in the chat if you are understanding me. You may attend the first time and you don't understand. Then when you keep on attending, because it is not a must to understand the first time you attend a class. Some of you, it's your first time to see me opening candles. Maybe you joined the business today. You see these things in my chat. Is it really easy to understand what I'm talking about? I want to speak with a good heart. It is you joined the business today. You come to the chat, you see me showing these things. Is it easy really to understand what I'm talking about? It is not easy. Me, I don't want to pretend. So the first time you attend, you don't understand. The second time you attend, you start understanding that now the green candle represents buyers, the red candle represents sellers. Things you can't understand things you have started on day one. That's why I said when you start, you are using signals. After using signals, then you learn to find your own coins. So you cannot start with learning to find your own coins. Am I making sense? So you start with using signals. You don't start with putting in coins for yourself. Someone starts today, me, I want to put coins. So you depend on others, then you start becoming independent, then you become interdependent. But you don't start with in me. Me, I have started. I want coins for myself. I don't know if people understand, but it is very hard. But does it mean that when you come on the Zoom, and you don't understand what I'm talking about, you just go off. Because when you keep on going off the trainings, you never understand at all. Am I clear? So you keep on attending, although you don't understand, because at one time you'll start understanding what I'm talking about. And things will start adding up. But someone joins the call. I went off. What you were teaching, I was not understanding. I request you to be patient with yourself. But unless you learn to be patient with yourself, this business might look very hard to you, but it's a very easy business. It's a very easy business. Now, there would be lines if I was a trader. Guys, I'll pick this call. Just a minute. Sorry for that, but let me, before I go back to my topic, I usually do not want to get distracted, but I want to request you, please, let me switch even my camera on. When you make money in this business, I request you to remain humble. The money you are making is for you and your family. I don't know if people take my points very serious. The money you are making is for you, your family, and your loved ones. You are not the one who has been feeding those people that don't have money for the whole of their lives. So remain very humble. Let money help you cool down. Don't become a problem to the society. Because the call that I received recently is someone was complaining about something of the sort. Please, I want to request you. Hmm? Please, I want to request you. When you make money, let money not make you feel like you can defecate on everybody's head because you have money. Some of you, your manners are awkward because you have money. So the money you have, are you the one who has helped those people grow up to where they are? Please calm down. Life will be very sweet when you are down to earth. Life will be very sweet. Please. Yes, defecating is a big word, but it's what people are trying to do to others. Because someone is making $100 a day, $200 a day, thinks everybody around them is very stupid. Mm-mm. I don't like that, me personally. And when someone brings that, I don't like it. Please, I request you, don't make other people feel stupid because they are broke. Mm-mm, mm-mm, they are very bad manners. Very bad manners. God will take away that money one day and you'll not like it. So remain very calm so that you can be able to make big breakthroughs. That arrogance and humiliating others will not work. It's a very, 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 very bad, it's a very, very bad way of behavior. I request you to stop that. I'm sorry, but someone called me complaining about something of the sort. When you need to be very humble with your money, or else your money will become a problem. Now, look here, friends. Look here. What we call support and resistance is this. This is the current price. So the highest price from here. Can you go to the house? Go to the house. Genda mu nyumba. Ate oli bweru oli mu kuzanyisa mba. Genda mu nyumba. Oli kola gamba. Tambula ogende mu nyumba. Tambula butambuzi. Jiveeko. Guys, sorry. My dog is just getting stubborn. Genda mu nyumba. Tambula. Sorry, guys. So when I'm drawing support and resistance, I'll look at the current price, this one, and the highest price from my current price is this one. So it means that this line here, this is the current price. This highest price, the nearby highest price from my current price is the resistance, and the nearby lowest price from my current price is support. Now, what Royalq is going to do, it's going to draw these lines for you. Am I clear? Give me a 2 in the chat. So we are saying that the pivot point will be the center, and when the prices are above it, they will be heading to the resistance, and when they are below it, they will be heading to the support. Is it now clear? Is it clear? I don't know. Give me a 1 if it's now clear. So the highest price, a resistance is like the market failed to go above this point. The market failed to go lower than this point. So the market is playing in between here. So it can reach here and come down, or reach here and go up. So these points is what the robot is drawing for you by giving you prices. Let me put it in 4 hours. By giving you prices where the market is playing currently. And these are called the pivot points. Now, the center of the pivot is this one, which is 0.002496, 0.0, you see? The center is 0.002496, but the current price is at 0.00787. So when I'm going to trade, I will look at the current price and then I say, the current price is 0.078. You see, it's above the pivot, but you see that it has not reached resistance 2. How many of you see? It is above the pivot, it's above resistance 1, but it has not yet reached resistance 2. So I enter at current price, then I put my take profit at this point. Give me 1 in the chat if that is clear. So my take profit is at this point. I don't know if my explanation is clear. So I look at the center, which is my pivot point. Then I say, it's above the pivot. It's above resistance 1. Now it is heading at resistance 2. So I either choose this to be my take profit or this to be my take profit. Someone says it's above resistance 2 and 3. No, it's not. Look. It is 0.8, sure. 0.007. Yes. 0.007. Now, when you reach at such a point and the coin is above in the 4 hour, just increase the time frame. Am I clear? Just increase the time frame. Go to 1 day. Because the higher the time frame, the better the perspective. Just increase the time frame if you see opportunity. So the time frame here will be different. But still, even here, it's above the pivot point. Now, if pivot points are not applicable, then you apply indicators. I don't know if I'm making sense. If pivot points are not applicable, like in this case, and you still want to trade, then you can go and use indicators like we said in the morning. You go and use indicators like RSI. Give me a 2 in the chat. I want to teach pivot points. I don't want to go astray. So if pivot points are not applicable, then go and use RSI to trade. So that whenever maybe the coin gets in the oversold area, your robot buys. I hope I'm clear, but I want to make it to pivot points today. I want to make it to pivot points today. That's what I want to teach. So it gives you your entry and your exit. Now, how do you apply? It's what I want to show you. If you have understood pivot points and now you want to learn how to apply them, drop me a 3 in the chat. You have understood what a pivot points are, and now you want to apply them. Okay? You want now to learn to apply them, then give me a 2 in the chat, a 3 story in the chat, and we get running. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the coin of our tribe is now available. So let me share my screen. Okay. Now, here comes my coin, Solana. Open the coin of Solana. And let me put it maybe in 4 hours for better perspective of all of us. Okay. Our current price, can you all see? Our current price is 2555. So 4 hours, I'll turn this to 4 hours. And then I come here on pivot point. Our current price is 255. So I come here. 255. This is the pivot. It's above the pivot, but it has not yet reached resistance 1. So I will say I'll put my take profit at resistance 2, which is 365. So what will I do? I'll just come here on the sell. Then I put in 26. It was 26 what? It is 26 what? These things are not easy to get off head. That's why you trade. No, I want 4 hours. It was 265. 265. Okay. So, sell, then I put in market where it is written market price. I put in 265.99. So once it reaches here, robot, sell off 25. I'll make $2. Sell off 50. I'll make 4. Sell off 75. Sell 100. I'll make $8. So once you put in, it will give you 265. Sell off 25. Sell off 50. So you already see your profit you will make here. Is that clear? So that's how you apply pivot points. And when you use them in 15 minutes, You can be able to enter as many coins as possible. You enter this one, it delivers. You enter another one, delivers. You enter this one, it delivers. You enter another one, it delivers. You enter this one, delivers. You enter another one, delivers. You enter this one, because it will have shorter entry points and exits. Is my lesson clear? Is my lesson clear? So once you put in the price, the robot, once the market reaches that price, the robot will sell. Allow me wish you all the best. Those who have not understood, I believe you can be able to watch again. I'll repeat this lesson again tomorrow in the morning. I'll repeat the lesson again tomorrow in the morning, and tomorrow I will use Binance specifically. Okay? I'll repeat the lesson tomorrow in the morning. And this case, I will use Binance specifically. I want to wish you all the best. Thank you for attending. I believe throughout this week, I'm handling one topic and you are able to learn. So I wish you all the best. I'll repeat the same thing tomorrow in the morning, 7:30, which is a Thursday. So in the morning, 7:30, I will use Binance, because if you use Binance, for example, it helps you a little bit better because the lines here are clear. So if your goal is to measure profit, then I'll just come here, bring my price range, enter from around here, and take profit here. Then I'll take a 5% or a 6%. So tomorrow I will. So thank you so much for attending the class. Love you all. Have a good night. See you tomorrow in the morning at 7:30.